Fifth. Here's what happened.
Kenny might have had a flat up top.
That could have been.
Oh, man.
Oh, he actually blows Kenny's left rear out.
Yep.
Somebody got into McClure. Can't tell who it was. Boy, he went hard into the wall.
Safer barrier right there.
I still didn't see the number there, guys.
Another replay. Watch this and listen.
Behind him and tried missing Mike, but caught him in the left rear and turned him into the wall.
With the truck here, you watch the contact again by Gibbs, youngest son of Joe Gibbs in the MB&A Chevy, and just loops, tolls him around, and nothing you can do there when you get turned.
No, not especially not at Dover, as we talked about earlier.
Hey, Marty, you're a lap down. Get out of my way. Whoa, and Houston returns the favor and says, whoa, and now he's into him and into the wall.
See, that was really uncalled for by Marty Houston. I mean, he was 2 laps down. Look at the mess he's caused now, but he's 2 laps down. He had
Look at your right of your screen. He was in a battle right there, almost a 3-wide battle. That's this 0-0 of Johnny Sauter on the inside. It might have been Jay Sauter, the 0-1 on the outside, and Riggin got a little bit loose in the middle of those 3 cars. And
is that lead group of trucks. You can see Chapin there at the back. He spins there, drops off. Again, tough to tell exactly what spun that truck, but watch the contact here. The 20 truck.
He's already had contact. The 41, I think, made it through. And there you see Carlos Contreras, the 31. Also, there's Pat Lawler in the 38. Lance Norrick in the 90. They all get swept up in it as well. And now the trucks are being brought down pit lane.
Oh, see why he had a left rear down and into the wall now. Something happened to the 88.
See the 61 truck already in the outside wall there. Everyone else taking some evasive action. Looks like some contact there. Probably Carlos Contreras looked like he may have.
It looks like someone underneath him going in the corner. He got a little bit too high. He goes up and hits the wall with the left side. Here he is. Cars going by right and left. And Pardus all of a sudden
looked like he got into the wall first and then came off it and hit Donnie.
You know, and actually he was shut down. I mean, either that
already happened.
I see what happened to
Jason had nowhere to go.
Nope. There, just wrong place, wrong time.
As that turn 2 flattens out so quick, Andy. Stays out. Car's already loose. Can't get it to the bottom. It backs it in the wall. Bam.
Almost identical.
Tell you what.
Only thing different is the sun's
trouble front straightaway in the tri-oval. 2 cars locked together.
That was Derek Cope and Ashton Lewis. That's actually Regan Smith in the 35. Couldn't get by.
there, right behind the 4 of Purvis. He just broke loose getting in the corner, almost like the right rear was down. Again, you see the speedy driver does. He may have been up a little high on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see when we get a report from the pits. But
good news and bad news.
Whoa. He was a little bit long getting out the throttle on that one.
He's been colorful.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And it happened.
Bliss with the payback.
It happened.
And Hamilton Jr. into the outside wall.
It's kind of all down here on this, tight group on the restart. Once again, Ashton Lewis gets into somebody. He hits Johnny Sauter there and sends him around. And here comes the 35, and here comes the 11, and it looks like a pinball machine.
But how many close calls has Clint Boyer had today at the 2 car?
And probably the worst of all that is that when
actually he gets forced into the wall back here by this car, and that drives him down, and then this Baker car gets into him.
And look at the 28 cars. He gets backwards. You see the 2 flaps come up on the roof? That's the roof flaps. That was this thing that was developed by Roush Racing and NASCAR several years ago. Works a lot like a flap on an airplane and settles the car back down.
Yeah. There was the 10 car, John Andretti, thinking about going by on the outside, and I guess Regan came up and just caught him in the right rear quarter and turned him head on.
By Paul Menard in the 11.
Oh, they're still bouncing around.
Trouble! McLaughlin's into the wall, and it's Bliss that's involved.
Oh, easy.
Oh, Johnny Sauter with a big hit.
And Sauter had already hit something very hard.
Well, you'd like to think there that Randy had a little brake trouble. But
bottom. Bobby Hamilton was trying to work his way around there in the air. Who spins?
Bobby Hamilton hits it hard, too.
Took Bobby with him. Matt Kenseth goes down pit road. Comes the rest of the field, and they're all waiting to see where the...
And Shane Hall is trying to go by. And right there, we're going to see some contact between Shane Hall and Blank.
Lead. Oh, here we go. Here we go. One car at the bottom and two up top. It's the big one.
Oh, there's cars everywhere.
That's the big one. Not a question of if, but when.
When they get bunched up, particularly on restarts.
About just a moment ago.
Exactly. They were too close going into the corner. The car on the bottom, I'm sure, got loose, and exactly what happened. Why don't they listen?
They have a different channel on their radio right now than ours.
We've had 3 cautions up, bang, bang, bang.
This is aero loose again, the same problem.
Exactly what we were talking about.
Exactly the same thing that happened with the 12 car of Sam Hornish a little while ago.
I see why you cringe when you see him going there.
Well, I tell you,
Well, Richard John.
Oh, that
25 car is just trying to turn away from the one to avoid hitting him in the left rear quarter panel and spinning him. And I think when he did that, he probably also jumped off the accelerator or stood on the brakes, and it spun the 25 car around. And that was a heavy, heavy lift behind it.
Yo, he's up in front of this crowd right here. Yeah, the 32 gets into the back of the 21. Amy gets into the back of Sauter, and that's what started. I don't know, but it looked like from when I was looking at it, the 21 dropped down for some reason.
But apparently maybe Lyndon Amick got in the back of him, checked up, then Brian Vickers gets in the back of him, the 5 car.
See Reagan involved there with the 30. It was David Reagan that got Stanton Barrett as he was trying to slow up.
Yeah, those guys were just trying to avoid this wreck and end up getting smack in the middle of it.
Wallace in the 38. 32 looks like he just got loose and slid up the racetrack, and as he was correcting the car, unfortunately Mike Wallace was on the high side. He got tapped in the left rear and took him out.
It's like Todd Bodine might have gotten a little help too. Ashton Lewis got a piece of it.
Contact. Ambrose is off the 25. Gets hit by Max Pappas right in front of Pappas and damages
Turn 2. Looks like maybe the 19 car gets loose coming up out of turn 2.
It's into Stanton Barrett and then comes all the way across the racetrack. Wow. A close call for Justin Allgaier there.
This is looking okay until Jason Keller gets into the back of Bobby Hamilton Jr.
And Bobby got on the brakes, and you see now he clips Keller, who spins around and will hit the wall with the driver's side.
Leader Kyle Busch just basically has to come to a stop.
Here. Off turn 4. Yep, just 0-2. Ryan Newman moved up just a little bit, got on the side of Chad Chafin in the 25 car. There's where David Green in the 34. And boy, I don't know who this is right here, but he does a well of a job of getting slowed down.
I think that's Hank Park.
Whoa! Gary Earnhardt
takes out Randy LaJoy.
7 car.
Caution is out.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. going down through here, sliding through the grass.
And LaJoy stops just
here in Bristol. There he is entering the corner.
You can see all the letters were already rubbed off the tire, like they had some contact maybe with those side-by-side racing they were doing just before this.
Turn 2, 25's pedaling a little bit, 66 sitting, and the Donahue goes around, and watch this. Ooh, bam, right into the side of Fedor. Sends him sailing back out in the racetrack. Fortunately, nobody else got involved, but I believe that's just a product of that turn being a little slick over there.
He does?
Yeah. Steve, there.
Oh, cars in the wall.
Car wall.
Couple of cars.
That's Jack Sprague.
Oh, man.
The points leader, Jack Sprague.
No harm, no foul here. He gets into the wall, and when he bounces off, nothing he could do about it. He just bounced off and got into Lewis.
And then Blake Feast in the 5 car was just a victim. Wrong place, wrong time.
Winning a race. Mike, you've stood out there in tires and got this track position. Get out of my way, and he's just mad.
Chain reaction behind him. The 25 of Johns gets tapped from behind. The 38, you see the damage on the front.
Ooh. Johnny Sauter.
Joe Nemechek. And Jimmy Johnson, 92 car. They were all 3 deep, weren't they?
Those are the guys
that they would not restart the race.
See, Hamilton got below the line, and as he came back up, he got into Boyer. And there's Raines in the wall.
Mike Wallace is still going to end up with a 12th place finish, it looks like, even after being involved in that first accident.
And the 25 car of Gilliland goes spinning around. Back with the finish at Mexico City in a moment.
He's trying to get out of the way, but it boxes up the car behind. And there we see the 15 of Gilchrist and the 77 make contact. And here comes 25 of Kenny Walsh runs into the 77. Meanwhile, Lazaro in the McDonald's car. Ron Hornaday's involved. Here comes Harvick in the back of I guess that's a 43 car of Jay Sauter.
Top of the screen. Is that Mark Green and Hamilton Jr. that tangled to start it?
I don't know.
He didn't turn 3.
Well, I really think as this race goes on, it's going to tighten up more. The track's going to get more grip, like Matt Kenseth, our in-race reporter, said earlier. He said, it's going to change, and they're ready for it.
Richard John so desperately wanted to get a good finish here. They had talked to a couple of sponsors in this week about being on board in 2008.
There we see the contact between the 92 and the 15, and then the 15 goes back across the racetrack and makes...
It looks like possibly Ashton Lewis's teammate, Regan Smith, got into the back of him. Regan in the McDonald's 35.
Well, it looked like David had thoughts. He had a push from the 33 car of Tony Stewart, and he had thoughts of going around Casey Mears, the leader, on the...
Here's the incident. I'm loose.
He got down on that apron, though, had those left side wheels down on that black asphalt.
That's a couple of wrecks for the 25 car today, and then he gets
there in the middle. Looked like the 14 car really came up on the 25 car that really started the 25 car wiggling.
Caution flag, the 5th one of the night.
Yeah, looks like the tire down.
and you're still wide open. Say, roll it.
Whoa, trouble.
Boy,
the 2 car upside down, over and on to Scott Riggs. It's the big one.
Oh, boy, who is that still flipping?
Sauter. It was Johnny Sauter.
There's not anybody left.
I mean, I only see about 4 or 5 cars that are coming around through 3 and 4 right now that were not in this race. They see Mike McLaughlin in 18.
Fenders, but he can probably keep going. He just loses the car, looks like, here between 3 and 4.
So he just got up high in the racetrack, Andy. Just
That's
got up in that
turn 2.
turdy part of the racetrack off at turn 2 and just spun that car out. And, man, he's tore that thing up big time.
We've seen a lot of this tonight. Guys just checking up in front, especially after a restart.
Wow.
And then guys just running over each other.
Hey. We see again is that it starts here. You got people back here that are trying to slow down. They see what's happening, and then Reed Sorensen got into the back of David Ruderman and David Gilliland.
What happened entering turn 1?
This is almost identical to qualifying. It gets down into turn 1, it gets loose.